Ugh. Please don't make me do it. Please don't make me give in to despair. Alright, so here's my review of Danganronpa 1.2 Reloaded, or more so, the very first game that comes in this package, the first game of the Danganronpa series, Danganronpa 1, Trigger Happy Havoc. Alright, so I'm going to start off with a little summary of this game. This game originally came out on the Vita, and this game is actually a repackaging of that for the PS4. It's called Danganronpa 1.2, and it's reloaded, and it's packaged with the first Danganronpa and the second Danganronpa. But for this review, we're specifically only doing the first one, Danganronpa 1, Trigger Happy Havoc. To give a summary of this without any real spoilers, you start off as a student who gets into like kind of the ultimate high school that only like goes out and picks students that are ultimates in certain categories, like the ultimate baseball star and the ultimate programmer. Upon reaching the school and walking in the front doors, your character immediately faints, and then you wake up in a classroom. You wake up, you go and meet the other students, and then you're called to the gym to meet Monokuma, who's kind of this remote-controlled teddy bear who is forcing the kids now to kill each other. And that's kind of, the summary of this story. It's how things get started. The game can best be described as a mystery graphic novel, I suppose, would be the best way to describe it. There's a stupid-ass rhythm game just kind of thrown into the mix, but for the most part, it's mystery graphic novel. Alright, first off, let's start with the pros. There's very few of these, so this shouldn't take long. A big pro in this game was actually the music. Like, even during like the murder trials, the music was pumping and I couldn't help but, be shaking my foot to the beat. It was pretty good musical soundtrack. Honestly, I think if I hadn't played this game, I probably would download the musical soundtrack. Another pro for this game is one character's story. Like, occasionally in the game you'll get something called free time, and then you get to go talk to people and increase your kind of relationship with that character and find out more about them. And one character in particular, Sakura, had like a pretty good story. The only other character I cared to talk to, I didn't care for their story because it just made their character into something stupid. Next up for pro is that there's plenty of times where I laughed. I mean, sometimes it was, due to the character's stupidity, saying something stupid made me laugh or something. But, the game just has quite a few little moments that'll kind of make you laugh, so that's good, right? To laugh as you suffer. Alright, now moving on straight to the cons, get onto this hefty list. Alright, for the cons, as kind of I mentioned before, everyone is so fucking stupid. Everyone but one character, probably. The only character that's not a complete fucking retard, like, deserves to die mentally handicapped, is probably Kyoko. And, I mean, she's really only there as a MacGuffin, so who fucking cares? Alright, one of the other cons I want to talk about for this game is the controls. The controls are just clunky as shit. I know it's originally a Vita game, and it's a direct port over, but they should have fixed it, and Vita games don't even have to be that bad. It's got like a dungeon crawler aspect to it as you move around the school, so you're moving through the school in this dungeon crawler form, and it's just really clunky. You get stuck on stuff, can't really move the way you want to, just so you can go and click on something and open a bit of dialogue to continue the story. Another thing is this game has a lot of contradictions throughout it. One glaring one that just super pissed me off is that whenever you're doing like the trials, the murder trials, they whenever they mention a piece of evidence, everyone can see that piece of evidence for some reason. I don't know why, but they all mention that they can see it, and they say that they see it. But then later on, in one of the murder trials, you're supposed to catch up that they can't see what's in what the piece of evidence was. Like, that was your key to know that they were lying, is that they couldn't see that piece of evidence. So yeah, lots of contradictions that just kind of go against this. Another big letdown to this game is the murder trials themselves, which, by the way, are the most important part and supposed to be the funnest part of the game. But yeah, during the murder trials, most of the time, all the answers and questions you're supposed to shoot answers basically into their statements to prove what's false. But most of the time, every single one of the answers is pretty much the same exact thing. Like, they all mean the same thing, so you could all use them as real answers against what they're saying, but it wants you to pick these specific ones, because, it's a game. It can only really be one of the answers. So, basically, you just gotta figure out what the hell they want from you. And during the trials, half the time, much more than half the time, you're literally just repeating the same words over and over and over again. Speaking of saying the same words over and over and over again, I wonder if anybody's ever posted how many times despair is actually fucking said in this game, because it fills me full of fucking despair listening to it every goddamn 30 seconds. Another, just horrible con against this game is the story. The story was garbage, which just makes the game garbage considering it's a graphic novel. But yes, pretty much the one thing that I had to cling on to hope for was that the story might end up good towards the end. That the mystery might actually be something interesting and that I would enjoy. But it wasn't. Nothing was enjoyable. The story was garbage, and after I'm done with these cons and rating it, I'll even add a little spoiler section so I can tell you all what the story is if you don't plan on torturing yourself with this game. Alright, so another big con against this is that, like I said, it's a graphic novel. So, you talk with people, but just in the middle of talking with someone, it'll just suddenly stop, and you'll have to click on them again to start back up the dialogue. So, the dialogue just seems to stop for no good fucking reason. It doesn't continue. And I don't know why. I mean, I guess that they want to give the illusion that you have some kind of freedom, but you can't do anything but start back up the dialogue or click on what you were supposed to click, so there's no real freedom in the game anyways. And the fact that the dialogue just stops like that really, really becomes a hindrance on this game. Makes it take a necessary amount of time. A big thing that I want to talk about is during the trials, at the end, if you've found the person who committed the murder, then that person is punished. And Monokuma, the bear, has special punishments for each of the characters. So, they each get their own special punishment. And the first two special punishments, like you can see, that was made for that character. That's kind of cool. But every punishment from that point on, after those first two, just doesn't make any sense. It definitely was not made just for that character, because it makes no fucking sense. And lastly for the cons, what I wanted to mention is that there's no ending to this game. The game doesn't really end, so there's no closure. You get through this shit storyline, and then nothing. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, as you can tell, I did not enjoy playing this game at all. And I know I'm gonna get probably blown up in the comments section, because like I said, this game has a cult following, and there's probably plenty of people who are looking at this review not because they want to learn about the games, but because they want to have their opinions justified. But either way, this is my opinion, and my opinion was I fucking hated the game. Danganronpa 1 Trigger Happy Havoc is getting a 1 out of 10 for me. There was nothing enjoyable about playing this game. I do not suggest buying it, not even for the $40 price for both of the games. I mean, I don't know, maybe I can, after reviewing number 2, say that number 2 is good enough to pay the $40 just to get that one game alone. But yeah, for number 1, Trigger Happy Havoc, it was not worth it. I played through this game hoping for some kind of redeemable quality, but I could find none at the end. So that's why this game is getting a 1 out of 10. I did not enjoy playing it. I do not suggest buying it. And now I guess we can move on to our spoilers. So if you don't want the game's awesome story ruined for you, then go ahead and stop now. Whew, all right. So if you're still watching this video, that means that you don't mind spoilers. And so now let's talk about the story of this game. So the story of this game, like I said, was about the Ultimates coming to the school, Hope's Peak Academy. And upon entering the school, the students do not actually just faint. That's some kind of false memory that they have, essentially. And the characters all attend school for at least a whole year. And attending school for this whole year, they all become friends. They're all happy-go-lucky. But apparently, even though they're all friends and happy-go-lucky, 2 of them are actually something called the Ultimate Despair. One of them is the Ultimate Fashionista, and the other one is the Ultimate Soldier. They're both twin sisters, and they attended this school because somehow they knew the world was going to end, and they could trap all the students in the school and kill them all. Not only that, but not only did they have that foresight into the future, but they had enough foresight to actually hire someone else to essentially be their spy later on too, which is the best character, sadly, Sakura. Yes, she is in the school as a spy, and you find that out later on in the game. And she decides that she wants to fight against the mastermind and save her dojo. Or, well, the whole reason that the mastermind's controlling her is because they have her dojo, and so that's why she's their spy. But eventually she wants to save her friend, so she fights against the mastermind, and she ends up dying later on. Yeah. Sadness. Lots of sadness, because she was the best character. But yes, like I said, they had the insight to see that, that everybody was going to be trapped in the school, and they could just, force them to murder them all, and they're the Ultimate Despair. So, after a year of being in the school, the world somehow has some super ultimate horrible fucking tragedy that's never explained. Basically, just the world is over. Monokuma's face is on everything for some reason, and people are rioting in the streets. Like, everyone's given in to despair is what this storyline is. So the students, knowing that their families are all dead and that the world is shit on the outside, all agree to be trapped in the school for the rest of their lives. And so the students themselves build everything to trap themselves within the place. Then, the Ultimate Despair students kill the original headmaster of the school and erase the memories of every single one of the students, every single one of their classmates, from the time that they walked into the building. Also, something else I should mention is that whenever the super ultimate tragedy happened, apparently every other student but that classroom was murdered too. So, yeah, everybody's dead but these students in the school. And then they agree to be trapped the rest of their lives within the school and build the traps for themselves. Then the Ultimate Despairs kill the headmaster, and they erase all the students' memories from the time they came into there. So the students have been, in here for a whole 2 years now before I guess our story really starts up. And also, the one of the other main characters, Kyoko, she apparently has her entire memories erased, like everything erased for her. I'm not sure specifically why. I mean, I guess it's because she knew her father that was living there, and so they wanted to kind of give her the storyline that she was still searching for her father. And I guess, since I forgot to mention, her father is actually the headmaster. So they start up basically giving the kids motives to, motives, now that the kids don't know that it's horrible outside, to murder each other to try and get outside. So it was all basically just one big trap, trying to make all the kids murder their friends, and then in turn get murdered by the rest of their friends, so that they could show them all despair. Yes, that is the storyline of this game. Needless to say, eventually the students, kind of get a general idea of what's going on, that they're trapped and who's trapped them, and as soon as they, call the person out, the person, tells them about the world outside, and tells them, basically, if you choose to stay in here for, because the outside is, poison and everything, and my heart is tied to the air purifier inside of here, so if you kill me, then, you'll be forced outside, but if you choose to kill one of your other friends, then we'll just kill them, and everybody can stay here for the rest of their lives, like they were supposed to. But the students say that, they have hope, so they choose, to kill the killer and go outside. And so the ending cutscene is literally just the door opening. You don't actually get to find out anything real about the world that's outside, or, what happens. So, as I said, no ending, no closure, shit fucking storyline. And that's gonna be all for today. Please do not support this fucking shit. Thank you. Be sure to like and subscribe. Feel free to comment your hatred towards me. And, most importantly, don't forget to take care of yourselves.